Hey, you're joining the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, dated March the 3rd, 1976. Now there you have your 3 code, March, 3rd month, 3rd day, so 33. But anyhow, the individual in front of you with the red dress goes by the name of Susan Clark. Now, in the world of trans investigation, it's easy to see that this is a man playing the role of a woman. Look at the size of the neck, the length of the neck, the larger shoulders, the larger arms, okay? And there's no cleavage here at all. No natural cleavage. So that he's wearing this little pendant here to kind of put your mind and your eyes right here, not down here. And of course, red is the color of drawing your passion, drawing your interest. So when you look at this dude, you kind of get drawn in because of the red color. And also the hair. So anyhow, let's listen to what Susan Clark has to say here about an upcoming movie that she's going to star in. Remember, the date is March 3rd, 1976.
And so it was easy when he said, he trained me like it was a dance. That was really, and the ball was something, and it was all rhythm.
Choreographed.
And it was numbers.
Hey, now you've got something that should be fascinating coming up. You're going to play Amelia Earhart.
Yes.
A lot of the youngsters the other night, I was sitting with Timmy, our son, and he didn't know who Amelia Earhart was. You know, and the young kids don't.
She was a great woman. And
Avitrix, I guess, is that the proper? Avitrix.
Aviatrix? What is it?
Orson, is it Avitrix or?
Aviatrix?
I don't know, you just...
Well, you look as if you should know.
To me, you look like you should know everything, Orson.
I do, but if I told you...
Hey, just a footnote here. Orson Welles plays a role in hoax history. Orson Welles plays the big general in Hitler's Luftwaffe, Air Force, the German Air Force. He's Göring. Göring. Did you ever wonder why Göring was so huge? How would somebody that was so huge make his way into the military? It's because Orson Welles played him. It was a hoax.
I make the woman's lib angry.
Why?
I know the answer to that. Of course it's aviatrix, but we're not supposed to distinguish that way anymore, are we? It's airplane person.
An airplane person. I think that's carrying it a little too ad absurdum, right?
A pilotess.
Now, you're not a flyer.
No, but I'm taking flying lessons, and it's exciting.
Just to get the...
To get the feeling, because I can't imagine sitting in one seat for 14 hours, holding...
That's right, you can't imagine it because it didn't happen.
That thing and being totally alone, and that's what she did when she came from Hawaii to Los Angeles and when she crossed the Atlantic. I mean, the concentration and the loneliness, and she never ate. She only drank tomato juice. But one of the great stories, unfortunately, we won't be...
It must be some type of a code, tomato juice. Perhaps it has some reference to... Well, we'll go on.
Be able to put it in the show was when she and her husband, George Putnam, were in Washington, and Roosevelt was president. And Mrs. Roosevelt was fascinated with the whole idea of flying. And she said, Amelia said, well, shall we get out of this party? It's kind of a dull party. How'd you like to fly in a plane? And Eleanor said, that's terrific. So they got in a car, they drove to the airport, they peeled back their white gloves, and Amelia Earhart took the president's lady up in the air. And she really got on. She thought that was terrific, and she came back and she asked the president if she could take flying lessons. He said, no way, you're going to stay on the ground.
That's interesting, but now why couldn't you show that, the little
I don't
anecdote?
know, I think it's too expensive.
Okay, once again, our reporter is going to try to help us analyze these hoaxes And why do they pull them off? Well, she gave a little clue there. It's the tension between the role of a woman and the role of a man in society and blending them. So we'll get to our wonderful reporter here in just a minute. And you know who that is? Well, stay tuned. Don't watch another video. Stay with this video because there's more coming.
Very interesting. There's still, how did you resolve, do we have a film clip from this? I was going to ask how they resolved this story because there was quite a bit of controversy, as you know, about what happened to Amelia Earhart in the world.
Controversy generated in the press. Remember, the press can manufacture anything. And by press, I mean media. But at that time, the press would have simply been print and radio.
Many stories that she was captured by the Japanese and was alive and lost at sea, never found.
And captured and killed. One story said that she died of dysentery in a Japanese prison.
Right, so nobody really knows for sure.
We take the story up to the way the American public...
Oh yes, someone does know. And our wonderful reporter is coming up, so stay tuned.
Heard it on the air, which was her voice as it got fainter and fainter.
Let them arrive at their own
nothing.
conclusions.
And the film ends on the United States ship to Itasca.
Yeah, that's only the fair way to do it, and let them resolve it. Let me do this. We'll be right back after this.
Okay, let's go to our number one reporter here. And let's hear what Dave J has to say. There's the original title of this video that Dave did. Thank you, Dave. It's resolved.
A death watch outside Trenton State Prison awaits the execution of Bruno Richard Hauptmann. He has been convicted of kidnapping and murdering this son, the firstborn son of Charles Lindbergh. On the night of April 3rd, 1936, Bruno Hauptmann is put to death.
Fly solo across the Atlantic. Now she was a superstar, and her every move fascinated the public.
Yesterday I hopped off from Los Angeles about noontime and landed in Newark this morning after a non-stop transcontinental trip.
And what did you carry on the trip?
You mean to eat?
Yeah, to eat and drink.
Well, I carried some water, of course, because my cockpit is very warm. And I carried a sandwich in case. I didn't eat it, though. I carried some hot chocolate and the old reliable tomato juice.
Okay, now what do you think is being symbolized there?
What kind of a sandwich was it?
Chicken sandwich.
Okay, I'll play this next scene with this liar here, Gore Vidal, which I'm also looking at like, he looks familiar to me as well. He's got something right in the middle between his eyes that holds his, it pinches his eyes together. I know him from somewhere. Anyways, beside the point. Watching this, watch how they show you two different scenes and just expect you to believe that what he's saying is true. And listen to the words, please.
She was, I must say, it was beyond stardom. It was a strange continuum that she and Lindbergh occupied. They were like gods from outer space. And people would just stand and stare.
Is this the Beatles concert? Hey dude, down in front.
Earhart was a legend. The first modern American heroine. Adored because she was daring and successful in a man's world, and because she was magnificently promoted in the press and newsreels of the time.
You'll notice that even in this video, that the promotion of this idea, the promotion of the idea of Earhart is a press idea. It's nothing more than, you know, a Mr. T sighting or something like that. It's all just nonsense. Yet another, that's a dude. Alright? You already know that. Here's the proof for that.
She was, I must say, it was beyond stardom. It was a strange continuum that she and Lindbergh occupied. They were like gods from outer space. And people would just stand and stare at them.
Amelia Earhart was a legend, the first modern American heroine.
Okay, here he is flashing the mystery religion sign of the Trinity, the Three, the Zambal, think of the what became the Knights Templars, that idea. This is the same dude. You can see that. I'm going to go ahead and blend. This will be to show you the height differential between the two characters, and then I'll just go straight into showing you that the faces are the same. And then I want to show you the so-called piece of new evidence. And this is what brought my attention to this. I was left a note to take a look into this, and I looked at the original piece of so-called proof, or at least the one that they have on the desert island right now, that they're trying to self-promote this story yet again, give it a little bit more new life, new blood. I'm going to go and zoom in on a very specific point of the picture, and you'll see where and why it's a hoax. Okay, just zoom in on the double Zion, the double 7. Right there for all to see. Okay, yes, this is where I went back in my time machine. I slipped that lady a note, and I said, give this to Charlie. The gig's up. Tell him to check YouTube in a few years. 2014, day before Halloween. Because that's the day where you playing Earhart, Amelia Earhart, got busted. Absolutely the same person. That means that the so-called murderer was not executed. That means that the so-called baby was not killed. That means that Lindbergh, the liar, the spirit of St. Louis, the idea of the chain in the ground, the link to the under, the female-male, polarization right in the same person, to show you a male, female, and then to show you that a male is then accomplishing what they're claiming a female is. And you want to know why? You want to know why, right? That is to change the purpose. I just said that. The purpose of man and woman. That's right. To blend the line. And now it's no big deal. Now it's, man, they have women running around in camouflage. Whatever. But this is the way this is, man. You know? To each their own, but what you think is true matters nothing to what is true. Just remember that. These are the same people. So that means, what did I just say? What does that mean? No Lindbergh baby. No Spirit of St. Louis. No the idea of the Spirit of St. Louis, the idea of the Amelia Earhart crossing. That whole idea. The characters go around, the characters get have little press outings and whatnot. The characters get all that. That's fine and dandy. A little free travel. Big deal. The event, the idea of the person and the accomplishment is what the hoax is. They have movies and TVs and books and everything written about nothing. A movie about Amelia Earhart is a movie about nothing. It's a movie about an idea that's not true. A movie or a book about the Lindbergh baby case is nothing more than a figment of your imagination and that of who wrote it. Because you're both lying to each other. And you're both just as culpable in the end. That's a fact. You can see that's the same person. Alright? And this is going to keep linking. I just need to keep linking that guy I know too, man. Looks like a Roosevelt of some sort. Anyways. Now you know, right? So you can stop pretending. You can stop. Don't Don't you dare spread the lie that Amelia Earhart did squat. All right, didn't happen. It's a character. The Lindbergh baby, hoax. The Charles Lindbergh, hoax, liar. All the same person. Whoever you are, you're bound and tied by the power of Jesus Christ. Period. Done.
Thank you, Dave. End of video.